What is going on, guys? It is your boy TKD, what you do here, back again with another episode of Road to Part 2, the weekly series that we go over Last of Us and Last of Us Part 2, all things about those two games, and bring it to you weekly, uploaded on Saturdays on your favorite YouTube channel, youtube.com/PlayStationSource, as well as a podcast service near you, whether it be Apple Podcasts, Google Play Podcasts, Spotify Podcasts. You can look at the anchor link down below in the description on YouTube and be able to find that link, as well as, of course, searching on your favorite podcast service, the PlayStation Source podcast feed. You'll be able to find this show as well as Cross Circle Podcast on those feeds. Wow, that was a long intro. I said a lot of info right there. How are you, sir? Of course, with me, my luxurious co-host, the Starks.
What's up? What's up? What's up? What's up?
How you doing? How you doing?
I'm okay. I just read a tweet really quickly.
Absolutely.
The Batman cast called Diano as the Riddler.
That's not true.
Which is a perfect. I don't know if you know him, but I know him from 12 Years a Slave. That guy's a good actor. But I'm great. I just beat Concrete Genie today. I almost teared a couple of times. Like, I didn't cry or anything, or tears didn't actually come out my eyes, but I almost did, like, a couple of times because it was a pretty good.
I did.
Pretty sad. You didn't, or you did?
No, I did when I don't want to spoil the game because I really think everyone should go play it. It's a very good game. It's only $30 for the base version, $40 for the deluxe edition, and then, of course, that is in USD. So, however you want to switch that currency up in your country, feel free to do so. But it is relatively cheap, about half of a regular, bigger budget game. You know what I'm saying? But it was when our friend left us. That's all I'm gonna say. I'm sure you know what I'm talking about. Our friend, our first friend. Hello, does that ring any bells? When the homie like dips after something breaks and's like, peace, and then comes back at the end. Yeah.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
Are you serious, my boy? My boy.
I want to say, it's a series, right?
No, I'm talking about in the game. In
you're
God,
talking. I'm sorry. I'm so out. I'm on Twitter reading tweets, and I didn't realize. I thought you were talking about a different game. My bad. Yeah. That was I think you already gave too much. Actually, no. But no, it was good. It was pretty good.
I probably spoiled it, but you know what?
Nah, all good.
You know what? I mean, I don't know.
I'm trying to platinum this game, and I'm going to
really
watch.
Really? I think it was good. A nice one. I know for me right now, actually, a lot of music I've been playing, which I feel a little bit guilty about, is I've been playing a lot of Fortnite Chapter 2 on the Switch.
Really?
Yeah, dude. Just been having a lot of fun with it. On the PS4 as well. That cross save is working good. My only issue right now I'm having is that my first account with Fortnite that I started on my PS4 before they even introduced crossplay, when I was in season 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, whatever, all the early days of Fortnite, that account has been unfortunately hacked. My Epic Games account got hacked, and I think he tried to move my Fortnite account that was tied to my PlayStation account and my Switch account at that time, my main primary account, to his Epic account or his device, and Epic was like, nope, we don't play that, and they nuked my old account, so I had to start a new one. But it's been, honestly, because I really thought that, like, with Chapter 2, it was a nice way to, like, all right, cool, like, if I'm gonna start playing Fortnite again, semi-regularly, might as well start now with Chapter 2. You know what I'm saying? A lot of cool changes to the map. Phone. I'm sorry. Would you like to be in the podcast phone?
We should have a phone podcast. See which one's louder, or the ringtone's better.
Honestly, I feel like every time, I swear, my phone will be on the countertop, not making a peep, right? As soon as I start recording,
I know.
Every time.
Happens to me when I used to record, dude.
I
like,
can't stand.
Because we had our phone, and I'm like, okay, let me time it. I'm gonna start recording. Ring, 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 ring. My phone. I'm like, gosh, dang it. But now our phone doesn't. We don't pay for our phone service anymore, so it never rings, which is the beauty of it right now.
For real, I can't stand it. But it's all good though. It's whatever. But yeah. So lately I've been playing a little Fortnite. season, and by a little I mean a lot. It's been very, very fun. I got new Joy-Cons as well, my favorite colors.
Oh, nice.
You gotta love it.
I'm gonna buy if the Switch has a good price, light or the base or whichever version.
Yeah,
I'm gonna get this for Boxing Day or Black Friday. I don't know if you know what Boxing Day is, but it's the day after Christmas where things go down here in Canada, and I think the United Kingdom as well.
Like go down in price.
Yeah. Like we're talking like 60 to 90%.
Oh yeah. That does happen here in the States. We just don't call it Boxing Day. Like we don't use that term. It's just because like, hey, well, actually, what
is it the day after Christmas though?
Yeah.
Oh,
it is.
I never knew you guys actually had stuff like that. Really?
No. Well, I mean, like
Dang.
That's like
some places
all the stores. You know, like that's just how like retail works. But we do have something that like I've heard a lot called like gift card day is the day after Christmas Day, where everyone goes out and spends the gift cards that they got for Christmas.
Yeah, and that's the idea. That's the idea.
Yeah. Yeah.
But we also have Black Friday, which is sweet.
Yeah, Black Friday is always a fun time. I got my Switch on Black Friday actually, like 2-3 years ago.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah. You gotta love it. But
today's not a Black Friday and Boxing Day podcast.
There we go. It is not. It is not. Maybe we'll do. Oh, dude, because here at PlayStation Source, you know, we take a holiday break, right? It lasts about 2-3 weeks. You know what I'm saying? It's like we make content regularly, like the first week and a half of December, and then we go on holiday break and then come back first or second week of January.
I like that idea.
We gotta do a nice little road to part 2 end of the year. It's gonna be fun. But not topic at hand here. We are gonna discuss a very heated topic that I'm sure we're gonna get a lot of people in the comments arguing left and forth. Wow. Arguing right, back and forth, left, right, center, all that good stuff. But the main question here, I guess. Well, do I just want to start the question? Like, there's a lot. You know what? Let me. Okay, before we back it up, this pertains to The Last of Us ending, right? So, of course, if y'all, for some ungodly reason, have not played The Last of Us, it is free on PS Plus right now. Go play it. I've been loving hearing tweets and hearing text messages in my feed talking about people that have played for the first time. They like hear me talk about it. They know I'm a host of a Last of Us podcast, and they are loving the game. They think it's incredible, as per usual. You know what I'm saying? So if you have not, go cop it. It's free on PS Plus. Go play it. Do yourself a service. Get ready for part 2. But there is the end. That did I just say they'll like with a W? I think I did. There is a aspect to the end of the game that me and Starks would like to discuss, right? And it's a very, very heated topic, and it pertains to Joel. So again, your last warning here: if you have not played Last of Us, get out. I don't want to hear I want to hear nothing. I want to get no tweets, no DMs about, oh, you spoiled the game. This is your last warning. I'm going into it right now. This is the end of The Last of Us. In the spring, Joel and Ellie arrive in Salt Lake City. Ellie is rendered unconscious after almost drowning before they are captured by a Firefly patrol. In the hospital, Marlene tells Joel that Ellie is being prepared for surgery in hope of producing a vaccine for the infection. The Fireflies must remove the infected portion of Ellie's brain, which will kill her. Unwilling to let Ellie die, Joel battles his way to the operating room and carries the unconscious Ellie to the parking garage. He is confronted by Marlene, whom he shoots and kills to prevent the Fireflies from pursuing them. On the drive out of the city, when Ellie wakes up, Joel claims that the Fireflies had found many other immune people but were unable to create a cure, and that they have stopped trying. On the outskirts of Tommy's settlement, Ellie expresses her survivor guilt. At her instance, Joel swears his story about the Fireflies is true. So, initially, Starks, you know, when you played The Last of Us, right?
Which was back in 2014.
Yeah.
First and last time I ever played through the entire game, which is quite disappointing.
You've only done a one playthrough run of Last of Us?
I have, yes.
Ooh,
I'm not proud of it, but I'm not a huge fan
cool.
of survival and horror stuff. Yeah.
I mean,
so
me, a big proponent, like for me, right, is that like it takes a lot for me to play a game over, right? Because like I love having the game be fresh. I play through it, and that was my experience. That was my takeaway, and that's it. You know what I'm saying? However, However, like as I get older, like I do want to replay God of War. I do want to replay Spider-Man. You know what I'm saying?
Oh
So like,
god, yeah, Spider-Man definitely, but
yeah,
God of War, I tried. Like I'm trying to play it on the hard difficulty about like 2 3 months ago, and I was like, yeah, there's no freaking way I'm doing this,
really,
because it is beyond frustrating, that difficulty, man.
I feel you.
So I'm not.
Yeah.
I don't want it to ruin my experience. The only games that I have fun in playing over is Uncharted games, to be honest, and I don't even do that often. I've never
Mm.
played on. I've only played Uncharted 4 once as well.
Same. That's
But
that.
I am replaying it. I'm in the process of replaying it just to get more trophies and stuff, and it's been fun. So
Yeah. But
yeah,
I am planning on playing through Last of Us one more time before part two.
me too.
I
I'll have to. If I
recently,
don't, I'm
yeah,
a fake fan.
I recently played it last summer, but we'll probably talk offline here. But we're probably, and by probably I mean most likely going to do spoiler cast type deals in this series of Road to Part 2 on Last of Us and the Left Behind DLC as well. So we'll probably do
Yeah.
those separately. But how did you feel about this ending? Because I know like a lot of people were expecting it to be a choice. Like people were expecting to like, oh, like I know a famous one, Colin Moriarty, when he got to the end, he was waiting for a prompt to like not do anything because he didn't want to, take Ellie and save her. Like he wanted to save humanity, right? Which is a great topic that we'll get into as well. But he was shocked at the fact that I was like, oh man, like no, like this isn't a choice. Like they are telling, like they are making me do this. Like this is a part of the game. So how do you overall feel about the ending overall? You know what I'm saying?
That's interesting about Colin Moriarty. I mean, Naughty Dog's never attempted to do like Telltale type of games, but I've never thought of that perspective at all. Now, I was 14 in the time that I played the game back in 2014. I had watched a YouTuber that I have been for a while now play through almost the entire game, and then I said, no more. Multiplayer technically convinced me, but I played the story anyhow. And there was nothing overly, I guess in a way, starstruck, if you will, about the game's story necessarily or the ending. And I didn't look at the ending as some kind of, draw defining moment in the industry, because again, I was 14. Any teenager at that time or around that age would be like, okay, like I don't think I had the I guess the knowledge or comprehension of video games and storytelling the way I do now, because I mean, I've studied film. I love films. I know they're not, it's not a film. I mean, video game, my bad. But what I'm trying to say is like, I understand stories and how they are essentially made. So the ending, and I know if I were to play the ending, it might have a lot more significance to me, but the ending was just nothing. I was like, oh, okay, cool. Multiplayer time, right? Like, and that's all, but that wasn't my reaction. But what I'm trying to, like, I can't remember what my reaction was when I was 14, but what I know is it wasn't as the same reaction as a lot of other people, where they're like, okay, you know, confused, right?
Right. Yeah. I myself was not confused, but just like I did not expect, because the entire goal of Last of Us, from Joel's point of view, is just to deliver this girl to the Fireflies. You know what I'm saying? Like take her to the hospital. Like, and by Fireflies, not like any Firefly, but that specific group of Fireflies, that are gonna operate on her and get the cure out of that. You know what I'm saying? Like that was his one duty, right? And for, I don't know, like for me it was just like, wow, like what does that, like, does Joel feel like this whole thing was a waste of time? Obviously he doesn't, because he saves her. You know what I'm saying? So like it's just like his main like force of his reason to fight for, to quote himself, changed.
Yeah, absolutely. Like he definitely, I like what I especially like about this sorry sorry, I got distracted on a YouTube video that I saw, my bad. But what I find very very special about the game is how obviously Joel loses an important person to him in the first half, like just the beginning of the, like the first 20 to 30 minutes of the game, and to have to put aside his he essentially Ellie embodies his daughter based off of the fact that she's a woman, she's young, you know. I mean, technically his daughter would have been older than Ellie, but he gets reminded of his daughter through Ellie and her means of survival. And now, if I were, are we answering the question now whether Joel's an antagonist or not?
I mean, sure, yeah. Like,
Okay,
this is just
so
open
initially,
discussion.
I'm sorry. Go on, Brian.
No, like I was saying, like this is just an open discussion. Like, however you want to take it. I just want to just
Yeah.
discuss the matter.
So in that instance, like this was never anything I would have thought of. You were the one that brought that question. I was like, you know what? Now that I think about it, Joel is both a protagonist and an antagonist, and I think there's a word for both, but he's definitely antagonist. Like, there's no doubt about that, because Ellie's means of survival, her purpose, or the purpose she felt like she had was to, in some regard, save humanity.
Right.
And she's not sorry, I heard a repeat on my end. Is that coming on the recording?
No.
Okay, perfect. And based off of her motives, like she wanted to use her illness, her condition, to better society, better humanity. And what's so special about that is the fact that Joel actually experienced humanity and society before post-apocalyptic events have unfolded. Meanwhile, Ellie hasn't, and the fact that Ellie actually wants to save the world despite how dark and violent and how nasty it is. Like, personally, in my opinion, I don't think, even if Ellie was the cure, and she was able to do the cure, I don't think the world would be able to restore back to its societal norms at all. Like, there's just no way. People would have their own functions and their own groups, like the Seraphites, hunters, cannibals. There's no way you can bring back society in such once it reaches that dark point. And perhaps that's what Joel had in his mind, but nonetheless, Joel is an antagonist because Ellie's goal was, in some shape or form, was to save humanity, and he deprived her of that ability, which means he's automatically an antagonist, however you put it.
I mean,
based off of the definition of antagonist.
Okay, I'm very glad that we disagree here, ever so slightly.
We disagree,
right? A little bit. I mean, because, like, here's the thing. I mean, I feel like, I don't know if. Okay, so if you recall the game, I don't know if you will recall this specific dialogue moment, but it was when Ellie ran away from Tommy's Tommy's spot, and they have that heated conversation in the bedroom.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
And Ellie says that, she's lost every person that she's loved, whatever, but
everyone except for her.
Yeah, everyone except for Joel. But, like, for the same tone, she was either 13 or 14, depending on how the months went. I forgot exactly which one, but 13 or 14, right? So I just feel like, I know, at least I can speak to myself, right? Like, back when I was 13 or 14, right? I don't think I fully conceived what it means to unconditionally love someone so much that you would do anything for them, right? Like I don't think I comprehended that fully the way I do now as a 21-year-old, right? And so, of course,
say that once more.
Okay.
Say that quote once more.
Okay, so I don't believe that when I was 13 or 14, right, that I fully conceived the notion of unconditional love to someone, that you would do anything for them. You know what I'm saying?
Okay, yeah.
So,
absolutely.
like, it's probably safe to say, generally speaking, maybe, I don't think it's that out of the realm of possibility to say that Ellie doesn't have that same perspective as well. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't believe she's felt a romantic love, and she hasn't even felt the love of a fucking parent, because her mom is dead, and who knows who her dad is. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So, like, damn, wait, we never discussed that, huh? Who is Ellie's dad? Whatever. All right.
Joel.
Okay. All right.
Directly and indirectly.
Well, I mean, yeah, but
so he raped
oh my God.
Anna, and
wow.
back days when, and yeah, so, and sorry, pardon me, I don't want to joke about the concept of
Yeah,
the R
we
word.
know, we
But
know.
but I'm just like, I was just joking. I think I mentioned this before in a previous episode where I said Joel might have had some involvement with Ellie, but maybe not. Like that was just like a hypothesis, just a little theory kind of thing. So yeah. Anyways, you can continue, sir. Sorry.
Oh, I forgot what I was saying. Yeah. Okay. Oh, no. Okay. So, but I feel like obviously Joel can understand. Joel has loved romantically with his past wife that they divorced, and as well as loving of a father, like to a daughter.
Right.
And obviously, the father-daughter dynamic is much more of a unconditional love off the jump as opposed to a couple where like they grow to that phase. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like you don't unconditionally love some random person you meet on the street and they become your wife. Like that's not how it goes down.
Well,
I mean like
I'm
unconditional,
joking,
like
I'm
yeah.
joking.
You know what I'm saying? But like
Yeah.
if it's from your own flesh and blood, obviously at that point, yeah. So that's why I feel like because there is that wrinkle, right? Like there is that wrinkle that Joel can empathize and understand that notion of unconditional love and can feel that and can understand that versus Ellie, who let alone has never felt that, but also cannot even probably conceive that in her own mind fully to the fullest extent to the actual like real time extent, right?
Right.
I feel like Joel is a little bit vindicated in that sense in saving Ellie, right? Like at least from my point of view, like I can understand. Now, obviously me, I have never had a child. Right. You know what I'm saying? I have loved pretty intensely. I don't know if I've loved to the realm of like unconditional. Maybe I have, you know what I'm saying? But definitely not a kid because I don't have a kid right now. You know what I'm saying? But
Not yet.
I mean, I don't know, bro. We'll see. But I feel like listen, and I swear to God, if my kid comes out and he's an Xbox fan, yo. Get out. Not in this house.
That's no, not like that. Not like that. Daddy, can I play on the X?
Not in this house, okay?
I'm sorry, I had to make.
Listen.
Is the recording okay? It's like
It's
because
fine.
I don't want to screw
Listen,
it up.
you
My
can play your
apologies.
PC, you can play your Mac, you can play your Nintendo Switch or whatever it is. Those are all fair game. You can play on mobile if you want. Xbox.
Uh-oh, the police is coming for me.
No. Anyway. Told.
No. Yo. We need to pause this. The police are coming.
Why? Wait.
No, I'm making a joke. No, there was.
Bro,
ambulance that
I was
coming
like,
by.
wait,
I
are
was
you
making
serious?
A joke.
Oh my god.
Said that. I was making a joke.
Jesus.
But you can't hear it. I thought they were gonna pass by my street.
I
but you
thought
can't hear
I
it.
heard a
Okay.
siren. So yeah, I mean, so like that's just how I feel. So like I can't, like I just can't.
I imagine somebody listening to this on their headphones and then me and you and I going, get out, and then they're like, oh shoot. Sorry about that. We're not trying to break your ears.
We're gonna
But
break
anyway.
people's ears this week. This is very interesting. But I just don't see Joel as a necessarily bad guy for the choice he made at the end of Last of Us. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Okay,
it's
so are
so
we?
difficult.
Sorry,
No, go
not
ahead,
to
go
cut
ahead.
you off.
Go ahead, of course.
But are we talking about whether we think he is an antagonist by definition, or whether we think he's a bad person for the decision he made? Because I think those are two different things. Although you can
talk about
you can
both.
put it. Pardon?
We can talk about both.
Yeah, because I don't think he's a bad guy for doing what he did, because he has, as we just established, unconditional love for this person who now kind of embodies his daughter, and maybe vice versa with Ellie, a little less though. It's almost like one of those things where you have a dream, you have a purpose or you feel like you have a purpose in life, and a parent rips that away from you. For instance, wanting to be a singer, but they don't allow you the opportunity to actually audition to become a singer. So it's that same concept. I know it's a little weird of a comparison, just because singing and saving the world are two completely different things. But the point is, it's the same aspect of a parent, utilizing their authority to deprive you of something that you feel like you need and want in this world.
Wow.
And so by default, Joel is an antagonist, but I don't think he's a bad guy, because an antagonist isn't necessarily a bad person, right? And that's why I was kind of talking like strictly definition, because you can look at a weather in Indiana Jones or Uncharted. Actually, screw Indiana Jones. Let's talk about Uncharted. In Uncharted 3, you know, the whole desert scene, the antagonist is the weather because it's depriving him of reaching his goal. He's slowing down. He can't reach his friends. And then obviously you have a direct antagonist who's who's like a complete opposite of Drake, like Rafe, for instance, who wants the same treasure as Drake. So you understand what I mean?
Right.
You know,
Like the
pardon me, sorry, not to cut you off again, but you look at Sam as well. Sam is an antagonist because Sam is who brought Nathan back into this treasure life and thing, which screwed up his relationship briefly with Elena, right? And without that, you know, Drake could have died, and it would have been Sam's fault. And by default, Sam is an antagonist because he's brought him into this unnecessary world of treasure hunting again. Sorry, I just felt like ranting. My bad.
Nah, the Uncharted one, I don't know if I necessarily agree with, but I see what you mean, that like the antagonist, whether it is an element or a real person or anything else to that extent, is purely just an opposing force that hinders or limits or restricts another person's ability to attain a goal. And that restriction and that limitation and that resistance doesn't necessarily have to be quote unquote bad morally. It's just a resistive force. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So I guess I could see that point. But I think a more interesting point that you brought up is tying it back to like the balance of protecting your child and having them making their own choices for themselves and what they truly want to do. I think that's a very interesting element that I think we will see. Because I feel like, damn, that's something that I have never thought about. Because, like, I mean, if you think of, I mean, like, just like you said, like, if the infection wasn't a real thing and Ellie, let's say, wanted, you know, to go to the mall, right?
Right.
And Joel told her no, don't go to the mall, clean the kitchen or like whatever. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like in essence, like Ellie would feel the same way, obviously tenfold with this situation in the end of Last of Us, because there's killing involved, there's lying involved. You know what I'm saying? But
absolutely,
I see that, like when you break it all down, Joel resisted Ellie's goal that Ellie wanted to attain, but Joel acted as that resistive pushback, that opposite force that did not allow Ellie to complete the goal that she wanted to.
Yeah.
Quite interesting.
Exactly.
Quite. I mean, did Ellie even want to in the I mean, was she even given the
that's
choice?
The thing,
you know
because it's one of those gray lines, because like, why would, I don't know, because if you look at Ellie, it's like, would she want to sacrifice her existence essentially to save, or to possibly save humanity?
Yeah, because
and you can argue maybe
that's totally. Sorry, go ahead. Now go.
Sorry, you can argue like maybe, but like it's because she's born up in this life, so she feels like she owes the world something by being like, well, now I'm a cure. Maybe we can bring it back to the way you used to have it, right?
Right.
And I know it sounds ridiculous, because like I know I wouldn't sacrifice myself like that unless it was painless, like extremely painless. I don't even want to think about that. But she's not born selfish. People who was born prior to the post-apocalyptic world are selfish, and they were privileged. They had items. They took it for granted, and now look at them. They're freaking cannibals, because most of these middle-aged people are, right? And they probably experienced the old world, but now this new world, or new world order, that Negan says in The Walking Dead, is that these people are born into this society thinking that they have some purpose. They have to, because if they don't, they're going to feel like their life isn't worth fighting for. And that is something Joel said in the first game. Or was it? Yeah, I think it was. Or no, you keep finding something to fight for. So similar, right? So, yeah, it's one of those things where I don't know if Ellie wanted to necessarily sacrifice herself, but I mean, she had this apparent ability to, so I wouldn't see why she wouldn't either. So.
Yeah, I mean, because like another thing also that like I've heard people defend Joel on, and like his actions is that how do the doctors know that they'll be able to create a vaccine off of doing whatever they want to do to Ellie? Like, how do they
Exactly.
know for sure with themselves? Is it a hypothesis? Is it a guess? Is it a, hey, like maybe this will work? Is it a you know, like, all right, this is the first guinea pig we have, but granted, this might be our only guinea pig that we have, and by guinea pig I mean Ellie, not to insult her, but like to say that, you know, she is immune. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, this is feasibly right now as far as we're our only shot. You know what I'm saying? So who's to say that doing whatever they were gonna do with her brain and extracting the, I don't even know what the process would be. You know, like, how do they
Yeah.
make that into a, because it's the
Sorry.
human body,
Mhm.
as you know, is a very complex thing, right? Like, there can be
Incredible.
literally a thousand reasons why. Like, for example, let's say we both had the same Mac, right? And we both install the software. For some ungodly reason, it opens on mine, but it doesn't open on yours. We're on the same software update. How does that happen? That answer can be a thousand different things. Obviously, we're talking about machines, right? But to take it to the human standpoint, that is so much more complex in
Yeah.
terms of like
Our entire
yeah.
anatomy is a biological, technical masterpiece. Like, and I mean that honestly. Like,
No, 100%.
her body is so
It's
complex.
weird. Absolutely. Yeah. So like, who is, I mean, like, the fact that they were so adamant on like, yeah, we're gonna have to do this process, take out her brain, we're gonna kill her, like, and that would work. You know what I'm saying? Or like, does that kind of make sense? Like how did they even know for themselves? So that's like an argument against the Firefly's perspective, and more of like a benefit to Joel's actions, is that how did they even, you know, feasibly know that this would work, you know?
Yeah, like, I don't think it was necessarily a guarantee, certainty procedure. It was more of a let's see, let's just try it out. Let's risk it for the biscuit, baby.
Which
Because
is
why not?
risk it for the biscuit.
I got that from a very popular, or not popular, but a very nice YouTuber.
I mean, I just but I just have a hard time calling Joel the antagonist in this story, but I understand it. Like, I understand why. I mean, he literally murdered some of, honestly, the last doctors that are probably around. You know, it's been 20 years. No one's really, you know, out here, you know, going to college and learning, you know, how to be a, like,
You
no
never
one's out
know.
here. Like,
Maybe
I mean,
in China they are.
perhaps that is, you know what?
Or in
Honestly,
France.
to be fair,
Bonjour,
we don't
No, it's
know.
not France. That's more like Italy or something.
That's fair, because we don't know what's happening in the outside world, right? And by outside world, I mean like beyond the U.S. You know what I'm saying? So perhaps maybe they have, like, you know, enclosed Firefly, you know, locations where they're keeping up with education and making sure people are aware of, you know, how to be a doctor and stuff like that, right? So maybe,
And
that
I
could be
think
a
that's definitely something, a concept that is being integrated into Tommy's area.
thing. Yeah.
Because a lot of these settlements tend to have those types of things. So yeah.
Yeah, but nonetheless, I don't think it's a outlandish statement to say that there are more than likely less doctors in the world than there were before, right? So to
Yeah,
even like
absolutely.
kill people with that information is pretty detrimental, not only to the immediate, but like overall, like overall the whatever society is at that point. Pretty detrimental to them as well. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
Having less
Joel
people that
holds
could do
some
that.
baggage to him. He I think I've said this in the past as well, but essentially his choices are going to have significant consequences in part 2. Significant. And possibly even Ellie's, but I think Joel is, and that's why I think that, like, in terms of definition, like, I do think that Joel is 100%, or not 100%, 50% an antagonist, 50% protagonist. And I think that 50% of the antagonistic, I guess, approach in part 1 and his decisions are going to have detrimental impacts on part 2. Because you made a good point about how he slaughtered, like, what, 3-4 doctors,
I mean,
all for one person. Like,
I know that you could not avoid killing one of them,
No,
which
no,
is the one
right.
that's
Yeah,
right with
yeah,
Ellie.
yeah.
But then
Yeah.
all the other ones, you could technically not kill them and just run away.
So then maybe that's just a detail that's just in the whatever.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, yeah. I don't think that. Yeah, that choice didn't really make any sense, to be honest. Like, so that's why. Yeah, yeah, yeah. That doesn't make any sense.
I mean, yeah, yeah. But I just have a hard time, like. But I think I kind of more aligned with what you were saying in terms of like, well, you know, he's not a bad person. Did this decision and this action, was it quote unquote bad from a certain perspective? Yes, like, you know, if you're more like, for someone that did not know Ellie, right?
Mm-hmm.
If you're just looking at this like, all right, look here, and then let's say for sure the doctors will be able to find a cure. That's not 100%, you know, confirmed, but let's just say that they are able to, right? So you have this one person, right? She's relatively young, right? She's 13, 14, okay? Granted, she hasn't lived a full life, but she will never know what that's like and what you're taking from her, right?
Right.
And you killed this one girl, right, to save the entirety of humanity, right? I feel like because I know we're talking about life and death here, and then get very, you know, wishy-washy
Touchy.
and stuff like that and touchy, right? But I feel like, generally speaking, one might side with saving the entirety of the world and the race of humans, as opposed to saving one.
Yeah, like
Right.
Yeah, so the ethical theory of utilitarianism would side with choosing or making the sacrifice play that the same sacrifice play that Tony
I was
Stark
about
never
to say
could.
that. Yeah, I was about to say that. Yeah.
I got that from Captain America. God bless America. Anyways, and I'm sorry, I'm making weird jokes today. I apologize.
Complete
Would
side
side
note.
with the
Does
greatest
Canada have a
good for the
Captain
greatest
America?
amount of people, right? The ends justify the means, and in that regard, you sacrifice the few to save the many. Another quote which I got from The 100, a great show, by the way. And literally sacrificing the few, one person being Ellie, to possibly save the millions of people, perhaps, is something that's probably worth it in the eyes of many. But I think that the concept of Joel, and I really like that contrast between these two, is like Joel's experienced this world, and while Ellie has grown this, or Joel has grown this emotional attachment to Ellie, and perhaps vice versa, the fact that he was willing to make that decision is not only selfish and denies this concept of utilitarianism and saving the world, possibly, but also goes to show you that he probably believes, he's probably a person who believes in that world like me, that there's no fucking going back. So even if Ellie was the cure, there's no way you can restore humanity to, and I'm not talking about the function, the function, I guess the way humanity functioned before, like cars, electricity, stuff like that. I mean, sane people, you can't restore that. You look at something like The Walking Dead, you have psychopaths in that, and you can't restore their humanity, right? And I think Joel, and that's what I like, and it's very subtle, like it was never any speech that was in the first game. It was, I think it's just a theme, and that is Joel made that decision because, listen, even if Ellie was the cure, there's no way we could go back to the way things were.
Right.
There's no way. People with guns, power, you know, psychos. Pardon me, I know I'm using wrong words here, but my point is, like, there's no way. And I believe, in that, if Joel does have that thought, I believe him 110%, because I know that cannibalism, there's no way they're gonna going back to just eating chicken and pigs. They're gonna do things the way they want to do it, right? So I really, I think that was a very like subtle underscore in the theme in The Last of Us part 1.
Right. And like, I get your point on like the world can never be the same, right? Back to where it was.
Yeah.
But isn't that with every major incident, right? Like, for example, here in the States, I was born in Queens, New York, right? So I'm one of the people that is actually like firsthand touched with 9/11. You know what I'm saying? And like, at least in terms of like the states and the entire world, right? unless you can go back in time and prevent that, the world will change. Like, so I don't think like looking in terms of like, all right, like is sacrificing Ellie gonna bring back the world that used to be? You're right. It never will be back, regardless of if we kill Ellie or not.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like things change. Like the impact is already there. Like the infection is in the history books. It's written. It's stone. It is what happened. You know what I'm saying? But I don't think it's like that crazy to want to, you know, extract the cure out of Ellie to bring humanity at least close to what it used to be. You know what I'm saying? Like, like I think too, like I don't know, like the way I think about it is like similar to our like constitution where it's preamble. I forget which one, but you know,
No idea.
there's a yeah.
I know my
I know the Canadian
Charter of Rights and Freedoms.
But like in the U.S., like there's a phrase like the founding fathers sought out to create a more perfect union, not a perfect union, a more perfect, like closer to perfection than where they're at right now. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, I just feel like someone that has the opinion of like, no, like we should sacrifice Ellie to extract the cure to make a more better nation, a more better standard of living for us than what we're at right now with these infected around. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know. I could definitely see the other side. Oh yeah, absolutely.
I'm really interested in hopefully when part 2 comes out, revisiting this bit. What episode is this? 17, 18?
21, I think.
Oh,
I
really?
Think,
20. Okay, well, congrats to that. I want to highlight this episode and come back to this because we have two, not entirely opposite views, but definitely kind of all over, like not all over the place, but just different views. And I definitely want to revisit this topic to see if any of our aspects or our ways of thinking, our philosophies are revisited in part 2, because I think it will be, especially since Neil Druckmann is slightly political and I think it's been announced that part 2 will have a lot of more political themes to it. So I'm interested to see how that will shape out to be in respects to this dialogue.
I just really want to revisit it. I just really want a hardcore conversation like it was when that part I told you where Ellie ran away from Tommy's settlement and stuff like that. I want like a hardcore conversation on like Ellie saying like, look, that wasn't your call to make. Like, I made that long trek with you. I did horrible things to get to that point. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah.
And for you to take that from me, like, oh, that'd be some flame, dog.
Guilt.
And then Joel screaming like, I couldn't lose anyone anymore. You know what I'm saying? Like, I lost Tess, I lost Sarah. Like, I can't lose anymore.
I have a little theory.
Uh-oh.
What if?
Okay.
Now, Naughty Dog has played around with like relationships, fighting, arguments. You look at Uncharted 4, Sam almost got Drake killed or Nathan killed. After Rafe was like shot him, and you know, spoiler alert, although I already spoiled it. What if in the instance of that conversation happening, Ellie's emotional breakdown from what's been teased and promoted in the trailers with her shaking and whatever, she gets mad and she strikes a blow at Joel, and then she stops for a moment. He's bleeding. Joel's like, if you want to do it, hit me again. And then she does. And then Joel's on the ground and he's hurt.
Dude,
fade to black, the end. The last one's part 2. No, I'm joking.
Oh man.
No, I definitely see something like that happen, like them having an argument or them revisiting that moment where Joel essentially saved Ellie. That'll be very cool to see in part 2.
So I guess like bottom line, right? To answer just a question, right? Like, is Joel? Oh, I guess part 1 is Joel a bad guy, and part 2 is Joel an antagonist. So overall, like your thesis statement on the topic, is Joel a bad guy for the end of Last of Us? And then part I have 2. One more question. I mean, for the first one.
No, he's not a bad guy. So like, again, like it's like I know that, like not to play very wordy here, but like I think he has an antagonist. He had an antagonistic viewpoint and a decision that he made, but he's not a bad person. He's morally he's his values are completely different. So I think that Joel is an antagonist, partly an antagonist, but is
Right.
not a bad person. No.
Right. Right. I see. I see.
Yeah.
I see. I think where I stand is that
Mhm.
I don't know how controversial this will sound, right? But I feel like I would make the same decision if it was me. You know what I'm saying? Like just off of like
Yeah.
I know how I am. Like I know like I put everyone over myself first. Like I don't uh uh like if it's a matter of like all right, something that I want versus something that they want, I'll do what they want or I'll, sacrifice my wantings or my, well-being for another person, right?
Yeah.
But to the same tone, if I get thrown in that conversation, throw into that interjection from what I just said for me to know to be true about myself, if I were to be in those shoes, I would want to do whatever that person would want to do. You follow me?
Interesting.
So
Yeah,
if
I think
Ellie
so.
would want to go through with it, you're like gonna go through with this kiddo. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think of the basis morals that I have, that I know I have, I think I would have to just let her die. But I don't know if I would. I don't know if I could bear that. Like, I don't know if I could do that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
It's wild.
absolutely.
That's wild. I have one more question. I forgot what it was. Oh wait, no. We are in Los. No. That was it. But, very interesting, because I know a lot of people get very heated over this topic. I know like a lot of people have a lot of opinions on it, and it's always a very very just interesting way to see how the conversation unfolds whenever this gets brought up, in discussion. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But I'm sure we will get a payoff with it in part 2, and I can't wait. And I hope the beginning bit of the game that we get, kind of like a prologue type deal, that was similar to The Last of Us in its fashion. I still hope that we get right where we left off from Last of Us.
That would be cool.
I want Ellie to, poke more questions at him, ask him more things, see if his story doesn't check out, or maybe she just doesn't bring it up till later. You know what I'm saying? Like, I definitely cannot wait to see that, if they do that. Hopefully they do that. I don't know. But do you have any last thoughts on the topic on this episode 21? The series can now drink. Congratulations, road to part 2. You can get pulled up at the club. You know what I'm saying?
Wait, what? Drink?
Yeah,
What do you mean?
it's 21. Oh, I forgot. In Canada, it's 18. I forgot.
Wait. No, it's 19. Well, no. In Quebec, it's like 16, I think. In Ontario,
it depends
it's
on like the
19.
province, or
Yeah.
do you guys call it
yeah.
provinces up there? Like is it like
Yes, we do. Provinces.
that province?
I'd be ashamed to call it a state. No, I'm joking. I'm joking.
I don't know why that got me. Ooh, that one got me.
But
ooh, that's funny.
no, I don't have any concluding thoughts. Is very interesting discussion. Appreciate it. That was a lot of fun. And now I'm curious to know what the viewers or listeners
Oh, absolutely. I want to hear.
have to say though. I definitely
Absolutely.
very interested.
I'll be definitely in that comment section, rocking out, seeing what's good. So next week's episode, I think we got to plan that. I won't say it out front, just in case there's a change of, unless they drop something insane like, trailer or whatever. But I'm pretty sure we know what we're rocking with next week. Definitely stay tuned for that. But on my end, definitely let me know what you guys think in the comments below. What are your guys' thoughts on the whole matter? And also, Starks, where can the people find you?
You can find me. First off, if you're still watching, appreciate it. You can find me on YouTube.com / The Starks, or just type The Starks, as well as on Twitter at THE and then STARKZ Starks.
You say Z instead of Z?
Yeah, I don't say Z. I said Z.
I
Or
don't say
Z,
Z, but for some reason, I say MW2. I can't say MW2.
And MW2, I say and MW.
Well, yeah, like M-Dub 2, I think it's like a UK thing. I think, or do you say Dub
Yeah.
2? Or
Oh yeah. Because that's
Dub
how
for
the
W?
word dub actually got established. Like win as in dub, W, dub,
Yeah.
like W. Yeah. It's kind of weird.
I don't know. Words. But of course, you can find me here at youtube.com/PlayStation Source. Keep it locked here on the channel. Like, subscribe if you enjoyed it, as well as share the podcast with your other Last of Us friends. I know y'all be playing factions. You know, why not play this in the background? You know what I'm saying? Why not? You know, listen to Last of Us, play Last of Us. You know, all the good stuff. And also, quick reminder, by the time of you guys listening to this, it will be the October 19th on Saturday. You have about 11 or 12 more days to download or add it to your library. Last of Us Remastered, free for the month of October for PS Plus. Make sure to go do that. And also comes with Left Behind. Hint, nudge, nudge, definitely play Left Behind before next episode. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. But you can, of course, follow us as well down below on our Twitter, as well as our Discord link. If you want to follow me personally on Twitter, at the KDAZ123, you follow me on there, THEKDIAZ123. All my opinions and stuff like that, all my rants on. Have you seen my rants on the Apple TV remote?
I have not. No.
All right. Do you have an Apple TV remote?
I have no idea what that is.
Do you have an Apple TV?
I do not. I have an LG TV. Life's good. Because life is good.
Yeah, just long story short, I've been ranting a bit on my Snapchat recently, you know, about this Apple TV remote, because if you ever Google one, I implore you to Google what an Apple TV remote looks like, and more specifically the most recent iterations of the controller. Of the remote. It's very small, right? And you will just be laying there chilling. You laid it right here beside you, next to you, maybe to the left or to the right of you, and you won't move a muscle, and it'll just be gone. Like, it'll just hide.
Really?
Yes, it's quite annoying. So I've dubbed, or just came to the conclusion, that my Apple TV remote just calls Ubers and just leaves and just goes out clubbing, you know, hanging out. I don't know. It's just absurd. But I tweet a lot about that, so feel free to, you know, add to the conversation if you have Apple TV as well. And
Okay.
yeah, that was my little rant. Glad I got that out of my system. Hope you all enjoyed the episode. And as always, wait.
Greatness awaits.
Was this his name before? No, right? No. We're good. Wow.
No, you said as always.
I think I need to shower. I think I'm feeling a little sick. But
Dang, yeah, you need to clean that up. Oh, sorry, no, I'm joking.
Thank y'all for watching. And as always,
Greatness awaits.